Yeah, I guess we're all here. Good evening and welcome to the May 7th, 2025 meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission for the City of Manitou Springs. The purpose of the Historic Preservation Commission is to protect and enhance districts of historic significance and instill and foster civic pride in the legacy and achievements of the past, and to improve the economic vitality of the historic areas of the community through encouraging compatible rehabilitation of historic resources. The Historic Preservation Commission is responsible for reviewing plans for building in the historic district and for architectural appropriateness and to ensure proposals meet the city's design guidelines, which are based on the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation. So we will start out by having the commissioners and planning staff introduce themselves. Matt, can you?
Commissioner Matt Murphy.
Ann Nichols.
And planning?
Planner Aaron Ringsred.
Planner Zachary Davison.
Hi, Fred Rolandhagen, Planning Director.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start out with approval of the minutes from our last meeting. Any commissioners have any comments or corrections?
They looked fine to me. I'd move approval as presented.
Second.
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 So the minutes are approved 3-0. Next item, is there any public comment on non-agenda items? No? Notice of council action?
Last evening, the Hiawatha contracts were approved by City Council, so those are going to move forward. We're doing a kickoff with the team shortly, and then we'll kind of have an idea of schedule and when we'll bring things back to the commission. Right now, we're thinking that we'll bring it at schematic design just as sort of an update to this commission to receive any feedback with there having been changes since the last time you guys heard it. But we'd anticipate bringing it either at the end of design development or in the middle of construction documents, just depending on what level of certainty we have around that portion of the contract that would be, or the design that you guys would have oversight over. So that is moving forward. So the intent is to start construction on the parking lot and restroom building by the end of this year. So that's the goal, to have that up and running for the next season. So.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to unfinished business. That would be MCAC 2503 528 Canyon Avenue, exterior alterations. At our last meeting, it was recommended that the applicants come back with some more information on the condition of the existing windows. So that's what we'll be covering tonight. And staff?
Yeah, ma'am. MCA 2503. The request is to replace wood windows with a fabric wood composite window. matching the original size and the layout. The property is zoned general residential, and it is in the Agate Hill Historic Subdistrict and is considered a contributing structure for historic inventory done in 1991. Here is an overview. Oh, it's moving a little slow. Here is an overview of the location. Here, 528 Cannon. The existing conditions, currently there are storm windows on the exterior, the most external portion, and then the original windows just underneath it. Here is the proposed windows with the green on the outside and the white on the inside. No change in size or configuration, but there will be change from a wood to a Fibrex wood composite. And the color will also stay the same, forest green with a white interior. And the motion language, the board can approve MCAC, approve MCAC with conditions, deny the MCAC, or postpone the MCAC until June 4th, 2025, next month.
Okay, do the commissioners have any questions for staff?
I do. I don't remember if it was discussed at the last meeting, but are the storm windows going to be staying on the house or?
I don't think that was brought up, and we can ask the homeowners whenever.
Okay, thank you.
I think it was my understanding, but we can again clarify with the owners that the new windows would eliminate the need for the storm windows.
Okay, would the applicant like to come up and give your statement? And could you introduce yourselves, please, and give your name and address?
My name's Sandy Disney. We live at 528 Canyon Avenue. I'm Ann Edinger. What she said on the address.
Thank you. So do you have anything to add about since last month's meeting about the condition of the windows or?
It's not so much that the windows don't work. It's just it's so inefficient. The glass is that very thin glass. We tried doing storm windows. We still don't feel like we have the efficiency that we could get with the newer window that would fit in its place. But I think Luke was on the call with you last month. He's not
Mhm.
with us today, but we told him we would be here. The concern was that we had changed some of the grills, the grid on the panes or however, whatever you call the grids. And it's going to cost us more to make the grids the way that you required them, right? So we were trying to decide if this is something that we should do or not. And I don't really know how to say it. But, you know, it's a 1905 house and it's got the old windows, you know, some open, some don't, most don't properly. And we just were looking to try and be more efficient.
Well, one of the suggestions we had at the last meeting was that you meet with a window restoration specialist and they can go over the condition of your windows, let you know how they can be repaired, because that old growth wood is going to be just every bit as energy efficient as the fiberglass.
Would we be able to then replace the glass? I mean, I realize if you want to keep the wood window, but the glass is,
Right, you would, yeah, we would restore the whole, I mean, replace any broken glass, of
Right,
course, but
right.
Restore the entire window.
is there a company that does that?
there are people who do that. We can give them names afterward, can't we? Or,
Yeah, I don't have any specifically, and I don't think we can make like I know, and Fred, maybe you can jump in here. Staff does not make recommendations for any consultants or things like that, just as a policy, so there's not any perceived favoritism. But I'm not sure what capacity, sort of outside unofficial
Mhm.
recommendation.
Yeah, so no, we cannot make recommendations, but if there are names that, if there are companies that we know are out there, we can provide that information, but we can't recommend anybody or anything.
right. So we could give you a list of everything, everyone we know of.
Well, I mean, we'd be willing to do that. We love our old house. But I didn't even think that that was a possibility, and I'm sorry if we didn't pick that up from the last meeting. I think we were out of town when this was going on. So,
Mhm.
Then can we just can this one? Just, how do you want to do it?
May I make a recommendation? So our code as it's written does have a limit on how many continuances we can grant on an application, and sort of how long we can continue an application, since it might take them some time to get a consultant under contract to do that analysis. It might be more appropriate to deny the application as it stands tonight because it doesn't have that information that you're looking for. Based on the information provided, and then we can come back with a new application with that information at a later date.
Okay, I really don't want to postpone your window replacement or rehabilitation too long, but would that work for you if you just contacted some people and have them come out and give you an evaluation? I love your house too, by the way. I think it's beautiful and unique the way the log work is done, and that's why I think you'd be happier if you kept your
Yeah, well, now that
original
we know how
windows.
much window replacement is, it can't be a whole lot more to restore them.
Um,
I know it probably
may
will
be,
be.
yeah, but depending on the condition that they're
Right.
in.
Right, but it'd be worth looking into. Yes,
Good, great.
do that.
That's appreciated.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that, given the discussion we've had with the applicants and the, I think, mutual interest to evaluate other options rather than replacing the historic wood windows, that we deny MCAC 2503 pending more investigation into that possibility.
Would it be possible to talk in the future to make sure that we are clear where we want to where we want to investigate, so that when we come back, we have answered most of your questions or concerns? And I know that changes, but could we ask you guys some questions, but maybe not in this?
Oh, right now, you can ask us
No, I
questions.
mean-
Or, yeah, I think
Yeah,
staff
you bet.
certainly can be a resource.
Okay, so
Mhm.
we talk to them, and we just want to make sure that if and when we come back again, that we have answered the questions and met with your expectations on what we need to bring back.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, we're happy to work with you as staff. And with that investigation, we can give some advice on some of the information that we believe the commission would be looking for. It may require, for example, taking a little paint off of some of the windows to confirm that there's not dry rot under that paint, because that is something that you sometimes find when you take the paint off, which can be a challenge for restoration. So that's
Mhm.
something we're more than happy to help you with in terms of conversation.
And then you do feel that you might be able to give us some companies that would do this, or is that something we need to research on our own? mean,
We
already
can
made
give
it
you
to-
a list
yeah.
of names. we'll request that and send that after the meeting of
Okay.
any people that we know of that do the work, but aren't recommending that they do the work well or not, just that we know that they do the work.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your patience. Okay, so did we finish the motion?
The motion was never seconded. Do we need to do that? Okay, I second the motion.
Did we vote?
We need to vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Matt seconded
I
that,
lost track.
and all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that motion passes 3-0. All right. So new business. We have 606 Manitou Avenue, exterior and interior alterations.
Yes, we have Snyder Electric on behalf of the city of Manitou Springs. We have one online and two joining us today. So the request, it's a pretty big project. So it's going to involve the installation of a 20-ton Mitsubishi VRF HVAC system on newly poured concrete pad. The installation of a perimeter fence to screen and enclose the HVAC system. There has been some change. Initially, they were going to run air ducts, but now it's a new system that's going to be a little less invasive. They still will be running lines from out to the roof, but not quite of a big project. The removal of the existing Resner unit gas heaters, which are these guys here behind us. The installation of 5 4-ton Mitsubishi ceiling cassette units that'll go kind of in the squares above us. The installation of a new energy recovery ventilation system in the attic space, VRF system install with an undetermined configuration. I think there is some unknowns regarding getting it from outside to the roof, just because they haven't really been able to evaluate the correct pathway through. I think there's a good idea of where they want to start, which would be the back room here by the ramp. But it's going to need a little more kind of poking and prodding to figure out the best way to do it that's the least invasive and the least amount of work for the walls. And then we have roof penetrations to accommodate exhaust and outside. This will be handled with outside company. And the installation of CO2 sensors. 606 Manitou is zoned public facilities and is in the commercial core historic subdistrict and is considered a contributing structure. And here is the current location. And here is a site plan. We can see the proposed installation there on the right side of the screen. And then on the roof there, the new outside and inside air exhaust on the roof, 6 penetrations, and then a new electrical service on the east side of the building. The existing conditions, screening is going to vary based on season. Currently, we have some screening that takes place naturally. Not very visible from the right-of-way. And it's going to be there just, I guess it's kind of dark in the pictures there, but just behind the dumpsters. Here is a location where they will be installing electrical panels. I've highlighted in red the proposed location for the new electric to service the HVAC units. And here is a site mock-up where they will put the HVAC system and the fences that they'll use to screen. These pictures are relatively old, so you can see kind of the variation in seasonality screening between the two. This is more of an earlier year picture, so it's not quite as screened as the ones that were taken just recently that were a little more dense. Here's an example of the HVAC. This is the unit And it'll consist of, it's like a side-by-side system. The dimensions are 8 foot by 5 foot and 6 foot tall. And for the motion language, the board can approve MCAC, approve the MCAC with conditions, deny the MCAC, or postpone the MCAC.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, questions for staff?
Maybe one question. Are the roof penetrations going to be on the backside? Or will you be able to see them from from Manitou Avenue?
I'm not quite sure if they would be elevated outside, and we can definitely propose that question to
Okay.
Snyder Electric.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question as well. Is it going to be completely enclosed? Like
It-
you won't be able to see it from the other side of the river?
Correct. It'll be completely screened on all 4 sides.
And so for the applicant, are we just addressing our questions to you or?
So right now staff is acting as a staff and not the applicant. So Snyder Electric will serve as the applicant
Oh, okay.
on behalf of the city, but not on behalf of the planning department. So yeah, that's how we're separated.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so could the applicant please come up?
Good evening. I'm Kate Sibla with Schneider Electric.
Rob Livingston with Schneider Electric.
And I'm Tyler DiLello with Schneider Electric as well.
Okay, so do you want to add something to the presentation?
Sure, and we're happy to address the 2 questions that came up as well. I will start with this has been part of a larger project that Schneider Electric is doing on behalf of the city. This is an energy efficiency, water efficiency, and resiliency project for the city that has council support as of March 18th. And we expect that this will be all packaged together in one project at the May 20th council meeting. And so as a part of that project, staff felt that adding some heating and cooling capabilities to this room would add to the resiliency of this building long term, to make it more attractive to rent out, more comfortable for meetings such as the one we're in right now, and potentially providing space in the need of potential emergency shelter on very cold or very hot days, for example. So this is part of a larger project, and we're happy to answer any questions you have about the HVAC specifically.
Thank you.
And to answer your question about being able to see the fresh air intakes from the street, there's a couple what we call candy canes. It's basically a section of duct that stands up so far off the roof deck. It will be on the flat portion. There are some that are already up there serving other portions of the building. So ours will not go any higher than what's already up there. So there'll be minimal visibility from the street.
Okay, I have a question. Are those 2 new units going to be located right next to that ramp?
Yes, that's correct. So where the Polaris vehicles are currently parked, that's where the concrete pad will be poured. The 2 side-by-side HVAC units will be placed there, and then they will be completely enclosed on all 4 sides, both for visibility and also for, safety.
Okay. And then will they be covered too, or will the enclosure be taller than the ramp railing?
Yeah, the fence will go up past, it cannot have a cover over top of it just for fresh air.
Well, yeah.
It needs to
Yes.
cool itself, but yeah, it will be completely surrounded.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Do we have a motion?
Sorry, I'm finding the MCAC number. Thank you. I motion to approve MCAC 2504.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes 3-0.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, do we have any other business for tonight?
We don't have any other business for tonight listed. I can share a couple just staff updates, but I think we've sort of don't have any items for discussion. We have sent out invitations to all of the property owners that are going to receive an award. And we're in the process of inviting some additional city representatives or other groups that have been part of some of the city applications in the last year and a half. So we'll get those invitations out by the end of this week, some via email, some physically. And then I did bring tonight just for the commission's viewing of the artwork that will be featured on the award certificates that we'll have framed and ready to hand out there. So I think Laura's handled everything else that is moving forward in terms of food and accommodations. So we're excited. So.
How many invitations did you send out?
Yeah, so there were 10 properties that were nominated through for awards based on our review of the meeting minutes. So we sent out 10 invitations. Some of the properties had multiple owners listed, so then all their names would be included. If they just had a single owner listed, we said and guest, so that they felt free to bring at least one other person to celebrate. So we have also, and I think we did this last year as well. We traditionally invite city council to this awards ceremony. So they will be getting, they got an email today and they'll be getting a physical invitation at this coming Tuesday's work session. We'll have those passed out and ready for them. We invited members of the police department since their project was one of those, and we will be inviting the Mineral Springs Foundation. I thought I sent an email and I was looking through my sent and I wasn't finding it. So it's like I need to send that out still. But yeah, so that's where we're at in terms of invitations. So
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Did you have a date that they need to RSVP by?
I think whatever was on the text that you sent over
Yeah.
is what was on there. Let me double check one moment.
Okay.
We've requested RSVPs by May 25th.
Okay. That sounds good because the caterers just need to know, I think, the Monday before. So
Yes.
that'll be good.
Yeah, the 25th is that Sunday. So we should have final numbers then by the 26th. So
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, any other business for tonight? I think the not application, what do I want to say? The entry form for the architectural treasures hunt contest turned out really well. Matt Rose did a great job on that. And thank you all for your photos. So, what? Oh, Fred.
Sorry about that. I should have talked about this on staff updates, but very, very quickly wanted to let you know that the city council, since your last meeting, the city council approved the new Plan Manitou 2.0 document, our comprehensive plan. I brought that to HPC to kind of give a brief about it. So we're excited that that's been completed.
Okay, great. Thank you. If there are no other comments or no other business, the meeting is adjourned at 6:02. Well, that was very quick. I kind of figured it would be.